Okay, so now we're gonna start actually prepping our dishes. And so I've got a big pot in the sink here, and I'm filling it with cold water, and I'm actually not gonna get it all the way to the top. I'm gonna leave a little space. And the reason I'm filling it with cold water is because hot water goes through your hot water heater, and depending on what kind of hot water heater you have, there's some scale and some other things that get in your hot water heater, and you don't want that in your food. So you wanna start your pasta in cold water. Actually, you want to start your pasta water cold. You want to start your pasta in cold water. We're going to take this over to the stove. I'm going to put it on my biggest burner, and I'm going to turn it up on its highest heat. Get a kind of shot of that. Get it up on its highest heat. And then we are going to let that go. I'm going to put a lid on it, but I'm going to leave the lid off just a tiny bit. When I put the lid on, it holds the heat in, but I don't want to completely cover the pot because if it starts to boil and the lid is on the pot, it's going to cause everything to boil over. So I'm just going to try to trap that heat and get things going a little bit quicker. So I'm going to open my other two pans here because remember I told you we're going to split that turkey. So follow me over here, and we're going to take this turkey packet and we're going to open it. And you'll notice I've got knives over here that I'm going to work with the other food. Well, I'm going to work scissors to open the turkey. From a food safety standpoint, we don't want the knives that are going to touch our fresh peppers and onions to be touching the raw turkey. Okay, so we're going to peel this open here, and we're going to take it over to our stove, and we've got our two pans going. Now, both of our pans are non-stick. If your pans are not non-stick, you can take a little turn of olive oil around each one. But if you're working with a non-stick, then you're good. And I'm going to take half of this turkey, and I'm going to dump it into one skillet. I'm going to take the other half, and I'm going to dump it into the other skillet. You see that scientific measurement going on? My kids love the way I measure stuff. You guys are in for a treat when it comes to measuring today. So we're just going to start breaking this up. And I've got the heat underneath these on kind of a medium level, okay? Now, both of these hopefully will cook in right about the same time. But while these are getting started, we're going to do a little bit more prepping in terms of our onions and our peppers, and I'm going to show you kind of how to cut those up and get those going. But we're going to get this meat going first. Now, whenever you put meat on to cook, one of the first things you want to do is to start to season it. The biggest mistake most home cooks make is not using enough salt. We're always taught that salt is bad. Salt is bad. We shouldn't have too much salt in our food. I agree completely. But the sodium that you're going to add at home by flavoring your dishes with a little bit of salt is nothing compared to what you find in prepared foods. Okay, so we don't want to add like that level of prepared foods. So I'm going to grab my little salt cellar over here. So I like kosher salt. You can use any kind of salt you want, but I like kosher salt for cooking. It has big flakes. Let me see if you can get a shot of that. It's large, and it melts or dissolves fairly quickly because the pieces are so spread out, and so it makes it really easy to flavor your food with. And so I'm going to dump that in, and then same thing over here. So we begin the seasoning process even as the meat is starting to cook. So again, we're not going to completely cover it. We're not looking to steam this meat. We just want it to start cooking. So we're going to leave that going for just a little bit, and then I'm going to have you join me at the cutting board in just a minute, and we're